The two transmitters exit the building at 50 ohms, which are this rigid coax here, and there's another one down on the other side of the building. They then convert that 50 ohms via a balun arrangement, and you can see there's two of them on the end. You can see the further one, the wedge-shaped device is a balun, and that converts it to 600 ohms balanced. So all is done to the switching frames at 600 ohms balanced out to each individual curtain. And there's a series of switches on the frames out on the paddock, rotary switches, and they're all controlled, driven via the computer system inside, and they can remotely send the signals from the transmitters to each individual curtain, or combination of, depending on the time of the day and the time of the year and the sunspot cycle. So it does look quite a complex arrangement out there, but it is actually pretty straightforward. The control circuitry that controls the switches of the motors, the 3 horsepower motors that control the switches, it's quite a complex system, but in essence it takes 50 ohms, converts it to 600 ohms balanced, gets distributed and switched to each antenna. And it's worth wandering around the other side, and you can actually, when you get onto them, you can actually see the rear reflectors and then the dipoles on the front. And hopefully with a camera with a UV filter, it'll really highlight the dipoles and the reflector. But like I say, I think if we split into groups of probably 3 or maybe 4 groups, I can then take each group inside the building and have a quick rundown of what's inside. And feel free to ask any questions. And it's there's a computer system. There's a computer down there and a computer on site here that are connected together on a tech WAN, and any controls made down there come through to the computer here, which then controls everything. It controls the transmitters, controls the antenna system, so it can all be fully controlled remotely from Wellington.
Fibre optic into here?
It's fibre into here. Telecom have got a MUX which is connected to the fibre here. It used to be via an SDL link from Whakatau up on the hill.
Yep, behind the pines, I think.
Behind the pines.
Yeah.
But now it's all done on the telecom network.
Can I ask you a question? Why is this site being chosen?
Elevation.
Yes.
It's about 750 metres above sea level. Clear horizon out to the north, and also all of the land is managed by Land Court and a government or quasi-government institution. So it was. I don't know about the ownership now with what's happened in recent years with the iwi getting a lot of land back, Kaingaroa Plains, Kaingaroa Forest. I don't know where the boundaries are, but at the time when this was, when it was installed in 1989, it was government-owned land as well. So those sort of factors, plus that it's close to Rotorua, where our base is, where we do the maintenance and fault response from Brewer, so it's quite handy to Rotorua. So another reason why they chose it.
Don't you have a short-wave service down near Wellington where the QIA transmitter is?
No, they used to prior to 1989. They used to run. There were two 8 kilowatt, I think, transmitters that they ran from the bay. That was sort of a limited service, although unlimited, it did a pretty good job. Pretty much right after the war, right through to the 80s, and then they decided that the government at the time wanted to have a bit more influence on the South Pacific, So the focus for the programming is about 6 hours a day, dedicated programming that's done from Radio New Zealand International. The balance of the program is just national radio put out, which is quite handy. And myself, when I was in the northern parts of Alaska a couple of years ago, it was one of the few shortwave stations that you could listen to, and there was certainly no where I was. There was no emails even available. So, and it's also too. It's not until you go to some of these third world places like I've worked in the Solomon Islands, that you realise that people think that the shortwave is dead. Why have shortwave service in this modern day and age with the internet and so on? But a lot of in the third world areas, they don't have computers and they don't certainly have internet. So having a little transistor shortwave radio, even with a wind-up charger for a battery, is what it comes down to get communication to the outside world. So shortwave still has a role. It's not a big role like it used to be 50 years ago, but there's definitely a role, and there's a role the government obviously take quite seriously. They put a reasonable amount of money, and 5 years ago they put a lot of money into the site, installing a new transmitter, adding all of the combining system, because they have to combine the two transmitters. So they put quite a bit of money into it. So to see that so many people are looking at the infrastructure and that which is here on such a beautiful day, I guess.
Yeah, well, it's really better.
Not for here, no.
We're running a bit behind schedule, so we'll just make it fairly quick.
Talking too much.
Nice lush